The news said inflation was cooling. You heard that. Maybe you even felt a small moment of relief. Finally. But then you opened your grocery app, checked your rent statement, looked at your utility bill, and something felt off. Everything still costs what it cost at the peak. Not a little high, still high. Same price, same pain, different headline. So what is actually going on? Here's the part that trips most people up. When the news says inflation is cooling, it is not saying prices dropped. It is saying prices are rising more slowly. That sounds like the same thing. It is not. And once you understand that difference, a lot of things start to make sense. Why your grocery bill from 2 years ago never came back. Why your rent is still at the higher number. Why your utility payment never went back down. The headline was true, and your wallet was also right. Both things can be true at the same time. Think about a car driving down the highway at 90 miles per hour. It slows down to 40. That is real progress. But the car did not reverse. It did not go back to where it started. It just stopped moving forward so fast. That is inflation cooling. Prices may stop jumping as quickly. But they do not usually fall back. They do not return to 2 years ago. They do not remember what your old grocery run cost. They do not know what your rent used to be. The speed changed. The level stayed. And this is not an accident. There is a name for it. Price stickiness. Once prices move up, companies rarely rush to bring them back down. If you adjusted, if you kept buying, if you stopped complaining, then from a business perspective, the higher price worked, so it stays. Here's the one chain. Inflation slows. That means prices are still rising, just more slowly. Companies see that customers have adjusted, so they hold the new price. Your monthly budget gets permanently reset, not for 1 month, not for one bad quarter. As the new normal, that is the whole mechanism. One step at a time. Inflation cools first. The rate of increase gets smaller. A grocery run that was jumping $5 every month may now jump $1. That is better. But it is still going up. Then companies react. They already raised prices. You already accepted it. There is no pressure pushing prices back down. Suppliers are still charging more. Wages are higher than before. Operating costs did not reset, so the higher price becomes the permanent price. Then comes the final result. Your monthly budget is sitting at a higher number, not temporarily. That is just what things cost now. Here is where this shows up in your life, your grocery run. Maybe 2 years ago you spent about $480 a month on food at home. Now it is closer to $520. Inflation cools, but your cart does not go back to $480. It just stops jumping as fast. You are still spending $40 more every month on the same food. Your rent, the national median rent, crossed $1,487 a month in 2024. That is up from $1,097 just 5 years earlier. A 35% jump. Inflation slowing down does not send that back to your landlord. The higher number is just the number now. Your utilities. Natural gas prices jumped over 10% in 2025 alone, electricity up almost 7%. Even if those increases slow next year, the bill you are paying today is already higher than 2 years ago. It does not automatically reset. And this is the moment people feel most confused. They hear inflation is cooling. They check their bank account. Rent is still high. Groceries are still high. Utilities are still high. So the headline feels like a lie, but the headline is measuring speed. Your life is dealing with the level. Those are two different things. Here is the thing. Let's say your household spends on the essentials: rent, groceries, utilities, car insurance, and gas. At today's prices, that is roughly $2,750 a month. Go back to 2020, before the inflation wave hit. That same basket of essentials cost closer to $2,300 a month. That is a $450 gap. Every single month. $450 times 12 months equals $5,400 a year. That is money that has to come from somewhere. Less in savings, less for your kids, less breathing room before payday, more pressure on the credit card. And here's the part that makes it feel personal. Median household income grew about 24% from 2019 to 2024. Median rent alone grew 35% in that same period. The paycheck went up, the bills went up faster. So even when you got a raise, even when the inflation headlines improved, the gap was still there. Quietly sitting in your budget every month, inflation cooled, but your bills were already at the new level. And for most households, that $450 a month never came back. If this gap is sitting in your budget right now, hit subscribe. Every week, we follow exactly where that money is going and why.